purely reserved for the emperors and their families. If a commoner was found with a Ganoderma mushroom, they were generally never seen again. It was that guarded a secret. And why was it guarded? Because the way Ganoderma, which is a mushroom, grows is it grows naturally on rotting tree bark. And that tree bark would be cherry wood mostly, but the unusual thing about it is that it will only grow at a certain altitude and a certain humidity. Otherwise it won't proliferate very well. Plus the time scale for harvesting the goodness from it is quite short. Once it's let go beyond 3 months, it goes hard and leathery. Some of them actually go like pottery. They go pretty solid. And then of course it's no use for anything. What do we get from the Ganoderma? Well, they harvest the spores from the actual mushroom, and the only way you can do that is in the wild. But because you might have a forest with 50,000 trees in it, it might actually only be growing on 50 of them. Maybe less. We don't know. It's so sporadic. But Ogano Gold have found a way to actually grow or cultivate the Ganoderma in the wild, but under a controlled environment. In other words, they have it in a plantation, but growing on the logwood. There are other copycat products on the market, which are what we call man-made. They're plastic bag grown with sawdust and compost. But the problem with that is the natural spores only happen in the wild when they're grown naturally. So the goodness is all in the spores. They measured the efficacy of the logwood grown as opposed to the accelerated growth in plastic bag. The maximum efficacy of the plastic bag version was about 13%. With the logwood, Ogano Gold can guarantee 99%. So there's a pretty big difference if you're trying to match the quantities needed from the man-made version. And even then, there are other things like triglycerides and stuff like that that don't manifest only in the wild. Yeah, so we covered that. The cultivation, medical properties. Ganoderma is known as an adaptogen. It doesn't aim at any specific organ. It works purely through the immune system, and the immune system will then control what needs to be done. If you've got a kidney problem, or you've got bronchitis, or tinnitus even, very, very strong on blood work. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol levels, that sort of thing. We don't make any specific medical claims because we're not doctors. But the proof is there. If you want to Google it and check it out for yourself, you'll see many, many documents covering the benefits of Ganoderma. You can also Google it under red reishi or lingzhi. It's known in China as lingzhi. Most of the other eastern countries it's called red reishi. There are several types of red reishi, but of reishi, or should I say, there's black, white, red, yellow, purple, but by far the most potent is the red, and hence the red mushroom. So, I mean, it's very, very powerful. The beautiful thing about it is that in the coffee, it's so simple to take. If you were to get the raw herb and know that it was guaranteed organic, you'd have to boil it for 3 hours, let it cool, boil it for another 3 hours, let it cool, and then put up with a bitter taste that's like paint stripper. If you were to make it as a raw drink. But they found a way to infuse it into the coffee in powder dried form so that it has no taste and no smell, which is great. We've had lots of different testimonials for various problems, such as bronchitis, fibromyalgia, tinnitus, common colds, And then there's the other added benefit that Ganoderma actually controls the way the caffeine works in the coffee. Rather than getting the 40-minute rush and the crash hitting your nervous system of caffeine coming full on, the Ganoderma controls it so that it time releases it at a very small level into the system, so you gain energy and you don't have any of the downsides that you get from caffeine. Caffeine creates a burst of adrenaline, other blood pressure problems, heart rate rises, some people get the sweats, some people get tremors, muscle tremor, shakes, upset stomach, headaches. You don't get any of that when the Ganoderma is in the coffee. So it completely controls those negative side effects. So all in all, if you take that into consideration with a business that is very universal and generally applicable over all, you can pick any employment type or profession, you'll find 90% of them drink coffee, and the ones that don't drink tea. So we have a green tea, and I believe imminently there's an iced tea coming, which covers another market. But you have a very, very applicable product here because it spans many businesses like health and wellness, fitness, the beverage business. There are lots of different applications. So as a universal business opportunity, I think it's superb. We're going to have a few testimonials, I believe. Who's first?
Like Major.